What is up, guys? I'm back for another video, and this one's going to be another installment on my Music Theory 101 series. This is going to be the third installment, of course, and first of all, I want to thank everyone from the community at Reddit. I was really overwhelmed by all the warm comments, and I just want to say thank you. And I want you guys to know that I did write down the suggestions that you guys gave me for the videos and for the next videos, and I am going to be making those videos as well. So stay tuned. I'm going to be talking about all of those things that you guys asked, and yeah, let's roll the intro and get into the lesson. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Franco Torres, and I'm a guitar player that does kind of weekly video lessons here on YouTube and on Instagram as well. And this video is the third installment of my Music Theory 101 series, where I talk all sorts of basic theory where we apply it on the guitar. And the approach that I try to take these is from the most simplest and most visual standpoint that I could find. And yeah, let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to be talking about one of the most, if not the most important lesson that you're going to learn in music theory, and it's quite a bit to be honest. So I'm going to be starting from the basic and then going all the way in depth into it, which is pretty basic and it's pretty standard, to be honest, but it's often overlooked, and a lot of people don't emphasize this enough. And I think that everyone should get into this so that they better their musicianship and they better their craft, because this is a really useful tool to have. So we're going to be talking about one of the most feared topics, which is the circle of fifths and the key signatures. So these both go together. Maybe some of you guys know these terms, and maybe you do know this topic, and maybe some of you don't. So we're going to be getting into these both so you guys can kind of see and understand the relation that there is to them both. And hopefully you'll find it helpful and find it useful. And I'm going to be explaining why it's so important and how to apply it in your playing and your practice schedule, because that's mostly where you're going to find use for it, and that's definitely going to make you become a better musician. So let's get into key signature. What are key signatures? So when you get into reading music, you're going to see something like this. So you're going to see these symbols, which a lot of you guys know for hashtags nowadays. And you're also going to see this other symbol, which is basically a B. These are basically markers that let you know what key we're in and what notes you're going to play, either sharp or flat. So for example, if we saw something like this, which would be the key signature of G major, what that's going to let us know is that every F is sharp in the whole music sheet, unless we have a symbol like this, which is gonna kind of negate that effect in the other part, and then we're gonna get an F natural, and afterwards in the next compass, if not mentioned, we go back to having that note sharp. So why is this so important, and what's the relation from these to the circle of fifths? So I was thinking, how can I interact more with you guys and be fun at the same time? And I came with something that I think you may like. This is going to be sort of a trivia where I play something, be it a scale or a chord, and you guys are going to guess what it is, and you're going to write it down on the comment section, and later on in the video I'm going to put the answer. I'm not sure where it's going to be. You guys are going to have to watch the video to find out, but it may be towards near the end, maybe. Hopefully. I'm not sure. I don't make the rules. I'm just gonna be playing and doing this, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the lesson, and I'm gonna play it first, and then you guys guess it on the comment section, and then somewhere in the video you'll find the answer. Yeah, I'll see you guys over there. So the circle of fifths is basically a way to organize these whole sharps and flats. And what I mean by organize, it's basically put them in a way that it makes sense and is easier to understand the relation in between one another. So this is the circle of fifths, as you may have seen it before. And there's a reason why the notes are labeled the way that they are. So basically, if we count clockwise, we're going to get fifths from the first note. So for example, we have a C, C, D, E, F, G. Of course, this is in the relation of the C major scale. We get a G. And then if we go to the next one, G, A, B, C, D, which would be the D. Then that's the D, that's the next one that's here in the circle of fifths. And then D, E, F, G, A, that's the next one, and so on, so on. And of course, each time we go to the fifth note, we get a slight change in the scale to compensate for the major scale formula, which if you don't know, I recommend you go see this video over here, which is my first installment on the music theory lesson, and I go over the major scale and explain what this formula is and how to build a major scale. So knowing this, every time that we move to another key, we get a different note. So I'm going to give you guys a cheat sheet to understanding what comes next. So G has an F sharp, right? The next one in the circle is going to be the D. So the D actually inherits that F sharp into that scale and then gets one more note. And the easier way to see this is that it's gonna also get the 7th note in that scale altered as well, in this case sharpened. So we're gonna get the F sharp and the C sharp as well. So see how we got the F sharp from the G major, and then we get the C sharp, which would be the 7th note of D. Then we make that sharp and we get a C sharp. And those are the alterations that D major has as a scale, F sharp and C sharp, and every other note is natural. So hopefully you guys picked up that cheat sheet. This being said, that's what happens in the next notes. So in A, we inherit what's going on with the D, and then we get another sharp, which would be the 7th note in there, which would be the G, which is the 7th note in the A, and we sharpen that and we get a G sharp, and that makes up the major scale of A, which would be F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp, and then so on with the E, with the B, with the F sharp, and with the C sharp finally, which has everything sharp. Now let's move on to the counterclockwise side, which is where we would have the F natural. And why it's on that side is because when you put the F in the major scale formula, you actually have a interval that you have to pull closer into the tonic, which would be the F in that case, and that's the B. You have to make it flat, which are the symbols that I already mentioned, to kind of get that formula built. So that's why it's on that side. And there's actually two ways to remember how to count towards that side, which you could see as a fourth counting clockwise. So for example, C, D, E, F, that's the next note that's going to be in that side of the circle of fifths. Or you can actually see it as a fifth going backwards. And what I mean by backwards, C, B, A, G, and F. So that's the fifth note counterclockwise or fourth note clockwise to count backwards basically in the circle of fifths. So here the cheat sheet that I already gave you guys for the sharp doesn't work, and it's actually a little bit different here, but it's actually pretty simple as well. So the next key after F in the circle of fifths would be B flat, and the B flat, as you may have already seen or noticed, is the note that's altered in the F. So the way that the cheat is going to work here is that the last note altered in the last scale before that is going to be the tonic of the next one. And just a simple example for you guys to see, F has B flat as an alteration. So the next key coming up counterclockwise would be B flat, and then B flat has B and E, and then the next key coming up after that in the circle of fifths would be E flat, and then E flat has B, E, A, then the next key is going to be A flat, and so on, so on. Of course, until you fill all of those up and you get the C flat major scale. So that's basically an easy way to look at these, and that's a cheat sheet that you can use to understand the circle of fifths and kind of build it on your own. And a really cool exercise for you guys to have would be kind of building it on your own and building the scales inside of them using, of course, the formula that I already mentioned in the other video. Build all of these scales, and I assure you it's going to help you a lot. Also play them on your instrument. And a cool way to practice these is actually by using intervals. So you can actually play thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, even sevenths, and just kind of work yourself around that scale, and also mentioning the notes inside of that while you play them. That's definitely going to help you kind of understand and have a better knowledge on your instrument, in this case the guitar, or as we call it, fretboard knowledge. And just overall knowledge on the major scale, which is honestly extremely important, and I can't stress it enough how important the major scale is. And honestly, to me, it's honestly the most important topics. Like, these two are literally the most important topics that you're going to find in music theory applied to your instrument, which is where I think a lot of people kind of get scared and discouraged. And honestly, I don't blame them, because it's kind of overwhelming at first, but there's honestly no reason to get scared because of this, because theory is theory, but music is music. You know, you can make music without knowing theory, but the theory always kind of lives in that. So Just because you don't know it yet and it kind of seems scary and like a lot, it doesn't mean that it has to be. I think it kind of has to do with the way that we're wired up here, and just when we see a lot of information, we kind of get lost and scared. But I assure you that there's no reason to be scared, because everything that there is to music theory would be just theory if it were left on a paper. It's meant to be applied on your instrument, and it's made to be played. So there's no reason to be scared to actually apply these to your instrument. So for those of you waiting for the answer, the moment is here. But first, I need you guys to comment down below what you think it is, what you think that chord is. I want to hear, or rather read, what you have to say. And yeah, the moment is here. I'm gonna put a drum roll quickly so you guys can actually feel the build up here. And the answer is A major 7 sharp 11, which is a chord that's derived off of, in this case, the A Lydian mode. And I'm gonna play it quickly so you guys can hear it again. So I'm going to run you through the chords so you guys can see what's going on. We have the A, which would be the tonic. We have the G sharp, which would be the major 7s. We have the C sharp, which would be the major 3rd. We have the D sharp, which would be the sharp 11. And then over here we have the G sharp again, just to repeat that major 7. And yeah, that's it. Let's go to the rest of the video. So let's talk about a few practices that will help you kind of get this circle of fifths down and just help you become a better musician overall, because that's one of the reasons that you're here. There's a lot of ways to apply the circle of fifths to your playing and to your practice schedule, which is something that I'm going to mention, and I'm going to play a few examples for you guys so you guys can see how it works and how you would use it. So there's a few things really cool that you can do to add this to your practice schedule, and it's literally with everything new that you learn, be it pentatonic scales, be it major scales, minor scales, melodic minor, harmonic major, major chords, major 7s, dominant chords, minor 7s, and I could go on and on and on. Literally every chord that you learn and every scale that you learn, every lick that you learn, literally everything that you learn, you can't put it to practice with the circle of fifths. And what I mean by that is that you can actually go through the circle of fifths when applying those. So for example, if we're learning the major scale, we're going to want to play the C major scale, then the G major scale, then the D major scale, then the A major scale, and so on, so on. And we can actually do it the other way around, where we go C major, F major, B flat major, and then we go all the way around until we get back to C. And just do that with every single exercise that you find or everything that you're learning, and you're definitely gonna know how to navigate yourself through your instrument. And that is literally the most important lesson that I've gotten from literally every guitar teacher that has taught me. And I can honestly say that it has made me a better guitarist. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, and I'm nowhere near the guitar player that I want to be. But I can assure you that this has kind of helped me practice better and learn things faster. And that's something that I wanted to share with you guys, which is something that I'm actually going to talk about in the next video, where I talk about a few things that you should practice to become a better musician. But that's coming up on the next one. I'm sorry I got a little bit sidetracked. I'm going to go back and rewind a little bit to go talk about the circle of fifths. So going back to where I was, the circle of fifths is actually really awesome to use in everything that you practice. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to kind of know your weaknesses, I could say, and there's a lot of ways to practice with it, and I'm going to show you a few now. I'm not gonna go too in depth on this in this particular video, because I'm gonna be talking about that more later on. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it and liked it, you can subscribe down below, like and comment and all of that good stuff, and make sure to come back next week for the next installment of this series, and I'll see you guys there. I actually want to give you guys a cheat sheet. Don't mind me, I'm just I had a brain fart moment there. I assure you that everything is fine. Let's go back to the video. So I can never seem to get this right. Also, in case you're wondering, yes, I added something new to this whole frame, and it's that blue light over there, and I'm gonna show it to you guys because it's freaking awesome. It's a little light by Aperture, which is freaking amazing, and I wanted to talk about how cool that is because it looks really rad over there. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.